Hi, Greg Marcello here, and I'd like to talk to you about reducing cancellation rates. Let's first look at the benchmarks. The benchmark for cancellation rate for all the courses you offer should be 15%. The cancellation rate for just new courses should be 30 to 50%. So that means you're going to have a higher cancellation rate when it comes to your new courses compared to your repeat courses. But overall, the cancellation rate should be 15%. Now, many programs are reporting these days that their cancellation rates are 20% or higher. So I'm going to give you now 6 tips for reducing your cancellation rates. The first tip is cut the dogs. That means the programs that you know are not going to run. Historically, they have canceled. People are not as interested in them. The numbers are lower. Cut them. Don't offer them as often or don't offer them at all. The second one is offer as few sections as possible. So for example, instead of offering a class and then having 5 sections, maybe only have 1 section or 2 sections. And then as those sections fill, then add a new section. The third thing you want to do is cancel as close to the start of the course as possible. So my suggestion would be 2 days before. Now that may not always be possible, but you want to cancel as close to the start date as possible. One of the things that helps you do that is something called half-life. If you know historically that you have half of your registrations, for example, 3 or 5 days before, then you can actually project the number of registrations you are going to get. But what's important is try to cancel as close to the date as possible. The fourth one is that you want to make sure that you keep your materials fees and your course fees separate. By adding them together, that of course raises the price, and the student does not understand what the actual materials fee cost is. So if you keep them separate, A, you can have a price that's less, and B, students actually see what the materials are and they understand what it means to pay for materials costs. The fifth thing is that you want to make sure that you price your courses so they can run for 5 people or less. Now the LERN philosophy is that when you look at running or not running a course, you want to make sure that you've covered your production costs. Those are the costs to actually run the course. That would be your instructor fees, your materials fees, food fees, anything that you need to do to actually run the course. So if you take that cost and you divide it by the fee that you are charging, you want that number to be 5 or less. That means that you don't need as many people to run the class, particularly in this day and age when we're finding that the average participants is somewhere between 8 and 12. The last thing that you want to keep in mind is that you need to be a customer manager. Your job is to go out and find out what it is that your students want. Talk to the people who are presently coming. Ask them what they want and then go out and get that for them. Don't be a product manager. Don't think that you know what they want. You've got to ask them and find out what they want and then offer it. So those are some tips on canceling cancellation rates, and what I want you to do is continue to lean on LERN for information that works, and we can help you in lots of different ways.